I've been told before that I have a people pleaser disease, and I think I do. You know, I always just want to make sure, okay, everyone is okay, everyone is happy. I'm not affecting people on set. You know, even though I have a really, really bad day and I have to act a comedic scene, I'll just switch it on and then do it, and then no one can tell that, you know, what's happening
Inside.
at home or inside.
And today we have award-winning actress and all-time sweetheart. It's Rebecca Lim.
Hello.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, Jean. I'm so glad we're finally doing this.
Thank you for taking time. I know your schedule is mad busy, so I'm glad we actually got an opportunity to sit down and have a little chit-chat today.
I'm so glad we're finally doing this, because for season 1, I was like, can I really just squeeze in one day to do this with Jean? But the schedules was just crazy intense then.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we can finally sit down and chat.
But I want to find out, like, how have you been lately? What you've been doing?
Wow, I've been really busy filming a Chinese variety program.
Okay. Is this where you're hosting?
I'm hosting, actually. So it's my second program that I'm actually hosting.
Yeah.
And I have to say, like, kudos to like all the hosts, because it's so tough being a host. You know, for actors, we have scripts, right?
Yeah.
And then we've just followed the script.
Yeah.
But for hosts, you have to think on the spot. You have to, you know, and it depends on who's your guest for the day.
Yeah.
And then you have to do your
Yeah.
research and everything. So it's a whole new different ball game.
Do you actually think that hosting is harder than acting?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's
yes,
no.
yes.
I mean, I think acting is really, really difficult because you have to be like on all the time. You know what I mean? And hosting, I mean, maybe just because I've done it for a longer time.
And you're so good at it. That's
well,
why
you're very
like,
sweet.
well.
You're very sweet. You're very sweet. So, is that done and dusted already? Or are you in smack in the
I
middle of
actually
it?
just finished it
Okay.
yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And are you going to go into a little bit more hosting? You think, are you going to do a little bit more of that, or only when the opportunity comes up?
I mean, I'm
guess?
hoping to do more hosting.
Yeah.
It's totally out of my comfort zone, and every day I feel so insecure. Yeah, because it's a whole new different ballgame. I'm not used to this. I'm
Yeah.
not good at it. I'm still learning. So I'm really like a beginner. You know, I
Okay.
have to start from scratch.
Yeah. Is there a reason why you decided to do the hosting thing? Or I mean, like, because you say you want to get out of your comfort zone, that's great. Because I
Yeah.
know of many people who wouldn't want to. Like, if you're such an established actress already, you want to remain an established actress and you wouldn't want to try
Yes.
anything else.
I really wanted to try something new.
Right.
I mean, it took a lot of pushing, you know? There are days where I'm like, okay, today is the day I'm going to try something new. And then the next day I'm like, nah, I think I'll just stick to what I'm comfortable with, you know?
Yeah.
And also because you're just so used to environment.
Yep.
You know everyone in the drama department, you know?
Yeah.
And then in varieties, it's like a whole new different team.
Yeah.
You have to start building relationships from scratch. But I thought, if I don't try now, then when? I want to use this insecurity to kind of push me to be better.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you're too comfortable, you tend to forget to improve on yourself.
Yep.
And so
Happens to the best of us, really.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I kind of felt like I was in that stage where I was kind of resting on my laurels.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned it, but you're right. I think the one thing that you have to do as a host is to be actually quite open, right?
Yes.
You have to actually being yourself is so hard, isn't it?
Oh my goodness.
Especially if you're a private person and you've kind of like over the years you've established yourself as this very established actress, very successful actress, and then to open up yourself, right?
Yeah.
How do you balance that in your brain, or are you still struggling with it? I mean, because it's not easy.
I have to say it's not easy.
Okay.
I'm still balancing that, and I get encouraged from time to time when, especially after my first program, where people would leave comments and then they'll be like, "Oh, you're so funny," you know, "Oh, you're not as glamorous as we thought you were, but we like that,"
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And I think that encourages me, because I really just want to show people that under all the glitz and glamour and all the beautiful Instagram posts, I'm
Yeah.
actually really just like everyone, just
Right.
like anyone else,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, you have your low days and you have your up days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What do you do when you have those low days, and how do you get yourself out of it?
There are a lot of low days.
Yeah.
But I have never been one to share about my low days. I mean, even as a kid growing up.
Right.
Yeah, I'm always someone that I would like to deal with it internally
Okay.
and not show, people how I actually feel inside. I think I've been told before that I have a people pleaser disease, and I think I do. I always just want to make sure, okay, everyone is okay,
Yeah.
everyone is happy. I'm not affecting people on set. Even though I have a really, really bad day and I have to act a comedic scene, I'll just switch it on and then do it, and then no one can tell that what's happening
Inside.
at home or inside.
Is there, whatever you're comfortable with sharing, is there anything that you think about when you are thinking about the lowest times, and how did you sort of climb out of it?
I think people always think that I'm very confident. I'm very in control of everything that's going on, but almost every day I deal with tiny insecurities. Almost every day.
Really?
Yeah. Like, especially with social media, you're constantly reminded of what you have and what you don't have. And come on, being in the media industry, you are in the most superficial, so to speak,
Yeah.
industry ever.
Yeah.
Where you are surrounded by the most beautiful, the most talented, younger starlets that come about. So a lot of times I will always feel inadequate in some
Right.
way.
My gosh, we would have no idea, Rebecca. Like, you're
Yeah.
right. Everyone thinks that you're, poised and completely confident
Yeah.
all the time. And you present that self to the world.
Yeah.
Convincingly.
I'm an actress, remember?
Yeah, exactly. Like a very, very good one. No one can tell.
Yeah, no one can tell. But there are moments where even before an award show, and I've attended so many award shows
Yeah.
before, but even up till now, I still feel the jitters and I still feel nervous, I still feel anxious when these times come about, because it's a moment where everybody is looking,
Right, yeah.
and it's tough also, when you're constantly being compared to people, and you know that you're not that sweet young thing anymore.
Right.
So when I feel insecure, I always try to remind myself I'm more sure of what I am inside.
Yes. Yeah.
And the insecurities, though there, will be pushed down for that moment, and I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, let's do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Rebecca, let's get to the beginning of this, your career. I know that you were talent spotted when you were on Miss Singapore Universe by MediaCorp. And then after graduation, you were still in uni at the time doing accountancy and law.
Yeah.
And then did you join full-time immediately after graduation to
Yes,
MediaCorp?
Yes, I did.
Now, was your family kind of going like, what are you doing, Rebecca? Or were they like, yes, you should pursue whatever you want to do?
Well, I mean, before I get to that, let's set the record straight, because I've read reports saying that, I graduated with a double degree in accountancy and law, but no, I am actually not that intelligent. I graduated with an accountancy degree and I majored in law. So it's
see.
totally different, but thank you so much for making me sound a lot more intelligent than I actually am, but I'm not.
I would have gone with that rumor, like double degree, sure.
No. I feel uncomfortable with that.
Okay.
So let's set the record straight. I'm not that intelligent. So after
Okay, yeah.
graduating, I mean, surprisingly, my parents, who have been really strict with me growing up,
Yeah.
they were the ones who actually convinced me to try full-time acting.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's very
because
progressive.
when I was doing it part-time, I only had very bit parts, because my priority was to graduate and to study.
Yeah.
So I couldn't take a gap year or anything. So when I graduated, the first role, surprisingly, I mean, and I think it's all meant to be, that was offered to me was the pupil, in the pupil. So it was my first lead role that was offered to me.
Yeah.
And as a law trainee, no less. So then my
Great.
dad was the one who was like, well, I guess this is great. You're no longer playing the the third party, the mistress, the prostitute. You know?
Were you playing those little
I
roles?
was.
Really?
Yeah, I was.
I don't remember any of
yeah,
that.
or like just the colleague that was,
Yeah.
not much of a storyline.
Right.
So I think to him it was like, oh, finally you're playing a decent character, and you're kind of making use of your degree to a certain extent. So just go and play for a year, and then after that, find a proper job.
Right.
Yeah, but it's been more than 10 years since. So it's just like one door led to another. And
that's awesome. I read something about the fact that when you first started, I think it was your first lead role in a Mandarin drama, that people were like, being unkind about comments about your proficiency of Mandarin, speaking Mandarin. Now, at that point, I mean, you relatively new. How did you deal with that? Because it's like, at the beginning, how do you deal with the haters? You know what I mean?
I knew that I was crap. Yeah, I
Were
knew
you
it.
really?
I knew it.
Okay.
I knew my Mandarin was not good, which was why I was taking Mandarin lessons at the side.
Okay.
Because I knew I needed to improve my Mandarin if I really wanted to go into this Mandarin drama market.
Yeah.
So that was what I did at the side. And it's difficult when you're at home and no one speaks Mandarin. Or even if they do, it's terrible. I mean, my parents' Mandarin is like, ayo, cannot make it, So it's tough when you're not in the environment. But I told myself, if I really want this to be a career, I have to put in the effort. So, I mean, the comments were hurtful, of course.
Yeah.
But there was some truth to them. Right. And I took it and improved on myself.
Wow. That's great. I mean, to take something constructive out of it, right? I guess. And then turning it around, going, okay, you know what? I'm just going to improve. I'm going to wow you guys.
Yeah.
10 years later, look at where Rebecca is now. Oh my God.
No, but even now, 10 years later, I still have room for improvement. So,
okay.
Okay.
I like that you think that way. I mean, it's a growth mindset. That's really wonderful. Yeah. Because you don't have to, actually, because you're so established already. I think.
Yeah, but I never want to never ever want to reach a stage where I think I'm good enough. I think that's so dangerous. When I think I'm good enough, I think that's when I will start to fall. Yeah. So I'm quite hard on myself, and I'm learning to not be that hard on myself, but it's in me. So and I've also seen instances, people who have come before me who kind of let the words that are being spoken to them eat into them. Okay. And it affects them in one way or another. And I always remind myself, okay, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to read an article that says, oh, Rebecca is the next big thing, and I really believe that I'm the next big thing. Right. I have to tell myself, why can I be the next big thing? I have to be confident with what I have. Yeah. And then I can accept that. And then, it's very easy to be in a stage where you really think that you're all that. Right. Yeah. Especially when things are going so well. Yeah. Yeah. Then you have to constantly remind yourself, like, hey, actually, you're not all that.
Right. I mean, it's very healthy to have people around you to keep you grounded, right? Yes. To go to treat you like, like normal. Yeah. And do you have that support system around you?
I do. I have a great family support. And I mean, in some way, the fact that they don't watch my shows kind of keeps me grounded as well. They're like, I can't watch this, sorry. We love you, but
I love that. That's so real. I mean, that's so cool.
Yeah, and even sometimes when I go out with my best friends, we have dinners, and then someone comes up and asks for a picture, they're like, hey, I actually forgot that you're actually pretty famous.
Oh, yeah, that's going to keep you grounded for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And that helps.
Right? So I don't know whether this is applicable to you because you're an A-list actress here. I mean, do you still have to audition? Because my question was whether or not how you deal with rejection, if there's like a role that you wanted and all that. Because I'm assuming you're given these lead roles, you actually don't have to audition.
I do have to audition.
You do?
Yeah, I do have to audition sometimes. Really? Yeah, for certain roles.
I see.
For roles that are very it's a good role, everyone wants to have that part, or roles that from more regional productions, I do still have to audition actually.
Right.
Yeah.
And has there been anything that you've really wanted that maybe you didn't get, and how do you deal with it?
I mean, there were a couple of auditions that I did during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So there were very interesting characters that, I mean, all these are for overseas productions. And then you're like, oh, actually this is the role that I've always wanted. I mean, I can't really say the production, but when I read it, I was like, I really want to be a part of this because I've seen season 1. I want to be in season 2,
Right.
And then you put in so much effort into auditioning. And it's tough because I actually did one audition when I was self-isolating. And that was the role that I really wanted. I had COVID.
Yeah.
So I was in a room all by myself. So no one could read with me.
Yeah.
And then I had to act to myself. Yeah, but that was the role that I really, really wanted, So during the 7 days, I was like,
Yeah, really studying it,
really
right?
studying it and acting to myself. But I think in life, not everything will go the way you want it to. And these rejections actually really keep my feet on the ground.
That's excellent way of thinking about it. But I'm sure at the beginning it's like,
Yeah,
rats.
you can be very upset and you're like, come, chocolate ice cream, let's go.
That's
You know?
right. And then you move forward, and
Yeah,
then you
move
look forward to the next
Yeah,
thing, right?
because
That's
really life goes on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know that you're a very strong person. I can tell, like, just by talking to you, you're super strong and can handle pretty much anything.
Not really.
No, man. I don't know. I think you can. There's strength behind those delicate eyes. There is a lot of strength, Do you say anything to yourself in the daytime? Like when you wake up in the morning, is there a mantra that you have to put yourself in the right space? Do you say a little prayer? That's what I do when I drive out. I mean, I say my prayers and it's all in there, and that's how I set my day. What do you do?
I am grateful for every day. And then I know that as much as I have to take care of myself, I know that my life is not my own. I have to be responsible for my family.
Yep.
And I think family gives me the strength to keep going as well.
Yeah.
And they see the most vulnerable sides of me.
Yeah.
And we go through the toughest of times together. So we have to be strong for each other. It's just it so happened that I'm in the spotlight, so you see my strength.
Yeah.
But I wish you can see the strength of my mom. She's the strongest woman in the whole wide world, really.
Yeah.
So I think I get a bit of that from her. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's really great that you have a strong support system, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, especially in your line of work, and all eyes are on you all the time, and everything that you do and every step and everything that you say, that you need to go back and just like wear your t-shirt, shorts, and tie your hair in a bun and go like, oh my gosh, I'm done.
Yeah.
Come on.
And even sometimes, even during interviews, I'm like, oh my goodness, why did I even say that?
I know.
Like,
I was thinking like, oh my gosh, Rebecca is, a private person, and I'm so happy you actually are here just sharing and your thoughts and of whatever.
And you know
what I mean?
why I'm so excited to do this with you? I have to share this because during Circuit Breaker, I remember we had an interview with Class 95.
Yes.
And it was the time when it was so uncertain for everyone, and I was at home. I mean, I loved it because I could be in my pajamas all the time. I remember doing the interview with you in my shorts, but with a denim jacket,
Yeah, I remember that, yes.
Yeah, but, after the interview, it was the first time in my life when I'm like, I don't want this interview to end,
Oh, Rebecca. Oh
really?
my God, makes me want to cry, actually. Oh my God.
Because at a time when it was so bleak for everyone, you
Yeah.
brought so much joy to me.
Oh, Bex. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The guest is supposed to cry, not the host.
Yeah, so really, when you asked me for season 1, I was like, I have to do this. I have to do this because
Thank you.
At the moment when I was like, I didn't think much about interview. I didn't think
Right.
like how much that would affect me. But that short 15 minutes,
Yeah.
it brought so much joy to me, and I was like,
Oh, wow.
whatever
Thank
Jean
you.
needs, I'm there.
Oh
you
my
know?
God, that's so
Yeah.
sweet of you to say, Rebecca. That's really wonderful.
Yeah.
That was the whole idea. I think we wanted to reach out to anyone, find out what everyone was doing, and like checking in on everyone because everyone's at home doing
Yeah.
absolutely nothing.
Correct.
Right?
And then that really like sparked me to start talking to my friends, asking them how they are, because just a simple like, hey, how have you been?
Yeah.
Been thinking about you. Just simple things like that actually makes a huge difference, in someone's life.
Absolutely. I'm so happy I could do that for you, Rebecca.
Yeah, it was unexpectedly like I was so emotional, after the interview. I was like, what's wrong with me?
I remember there were tears in that interview. We teared up. We both teared
Yeah.
up in that interview, right? It was funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
I think you know what? I think not only you needed that, I needed that as well. I think it was my way of also staying sane in the midst of the pandemic to talk to everyone I could talk to.
Yeah, it was really nice.
What does Rebecca do for self-care? I mean, what do you do maybe physically and mentally to keep yourself happy?
For self-care, I'm actually learning about self-care in recent years.
Okay.
I've always put myself in the back burner. Always thinking about other people before myself. But in recent years, I've learned that actually my feelings account for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think previously it's always about, it's okay, I'm upset, but it's all right as long as you're okay,
Wow.
But now it's like I'm upset and I have to learn to deal with it.
Yep.
And I think just by learning to deal with how I'm feeling, that's already self-care for me. Because a lot of times we think that, and then we pretend to be okay, or there are occasions where I have to pretend that I'm okay.
Yeah.
But when I go back, I'm in the car, I'm crying to myself, all these things that people don't know, but it's kind of self-care for myself because you address the issues like immediately.
Yeah.
And I think another thing that I do for self-care is I really try to learn and constantly remind myself to be present.
Wow.
It's tough.
It is tough. I mean, I think it happens to all of us.
Yeah.
You're thinking about the next hour, what you're going to do, tomorrow, what you're going to do.
Yeah, even small things like, oh, what am I going to eat for lunch? Oh no, but my favorite bak chor mee, the queue so long, how? Like, should I, just small things like that, like, but if I really am present and then I really appreciate that moment, yeah, that to me is already self-care. You don't have to do like big things, like, I don't know. I mean, to me, self-care is also, it can be like a simple, like an hour foot massage.
Yeah.
Just some time to myself.
Yeah. Is there any message that you have to our viewers and our listeners of this podcast? I don't know, anything you want to share about mental health or any message or advice or from your own experience to everyone?
You are enough. Yeah, you are complete as you are.
Yeah.
And that is something that I have to constantly say to myself as well. So, I mean, there are definitely days where you feel inadequate. Just remember that this will pass. Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to this next part of the thing where we have a little drawing block.
Okay.
And then you can write whatever message you want for anybody and tell us why you wrote it.
Okay.
Okay, so tell us what you wrote or drew.
Whoops. Well, I wrote, whatever you're going through, remember this, you are enough.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
You want to show it to the camera? Maybe this camera.
This one?
Yeah. That's right. Whatever you're going through, remember this. You are enough. You are enough.
Yes. I didn't draw though because I'm not that artistic.
No, it's...
So I'll just write.
If I were in your seat, I would do exactly the same thing and I would only write words.
Yes.
So we have another segment that we call a mind break segment. So Rebecca, we have a bunch of candles and a bunch of Post-its over here with all these wonderful affirmations.
Nice.
So I thought we could pick whatever affirmations we like and then plonk them over here and say them to ourselves so that we'll feel better.
Aww. I think I have to bring them home.
You can totally
Place
bring
them
them
in my
home.
bathroom, my bedside table.
On your mirror, when you're looking at your face, right? Yeah, so whatever you want to put on, you can.
Wow, everything is so good.
Okay, well, I want to stick one, and this one says, I'm grateful for all the gifts and talents that make me who I am.
Wow.
I try to be grateful.
Yeah.
Like
actually,
sometimes you forget.
Yeah, it is very
Right?
difficult to constantly remind yourself that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to remind myself also, to be
Yeah.
grateful for all that I have.
Totally.
Because every day you're reminded of what you don't have,
Right? Exactly.
When you see like people posting on social media, like, hey, I also want that thing, I want that thing,
Totally.
I want that hair, I want that body.
Yeah, totally. Comparison is really the thief of joy. It really, really
Yeah,
is.
it is.
I can't stand it.
Yeah. Okay. I
You
took,
have one? Okay.
I took one. Okay.
Okay, what's that? What does that say?
Saying
no.
is an act of self-love too.
Wow. Have you always found it very difficult to say no to things?
Yes.
Yeah, most of your life.
Yes, you see, I'm saying yes.
Is it your people pleasing thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't like to put people in difficult positions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there are so many instances where I'm like, I should have said that at that moment. You know, now I regret. Now I feel bad that my truth is not out there.
Right.
You know. And then you feel like, oh yeah, it's so unfair, you know, or whatever, you know. But then you can only blame yourself.
You're so hard on yourself, Rebecca.
Yeah, I am.
You really, really are.
I am. So I mean, I try to do everything, and then I try to do everything well.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I have to tell myself no to certain things.
Yeah.
You know, like no to certain commitments, no to certain relationships. And relationships, it can be friendships,
Absolutely.
love,
Yeah.
work relationship.
Yeah.
You know, just learn how to cut off, you know,
Yeah.
people that are not genuinely caring, or people who will be happy for you for your success.
Yes.
I think that was how I managed to learn to chop them off.
yeah.
Because there are many people who will be there for you when you are down, be it genuinely or just scapo, you know.
Yes.
But how many people can truly be happy for you when you achieve something?
So we've got all these beautiful candles from Hugarium at my village at Serangoon Garden, and they all have words on them like, you know, I am unstoppable, I am beautiful, I'm strong, I am loved,
Wow.
I'm blessed. So I thought you could pick your favorite one or favorite 2 or 3 or 5, and we could light them up and just
Wow.
like have this mantra fill the air of this studio,
Well, they're all so good.
right?
Yeah.
I thought it was hard to pick one actually, so.
Okay, let's not be greedy, you know.
You're gonna pick one only and light it up.
Let's pick I am blessed.
I mean, it's important to count your blessings every single day. Do you find yourself doing that at the end of the day, or you try to like count your blessings at the end of the day?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
That's
I mean,
good.
like even though I had a really bad day,
Yeah.
maybe I don't really count my blessings on that day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the next day I do. You know, sometimes when I have pockets of time when I'm by myself,
Yeah.
that's when I really just try to be aware of the little things that I am so fortunate to be a part of or fortunate to have. And that keeps me going. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Man, thank you so much for sharing today, Rebecca.
No, thanks.
What a privilege. What a treat it is to have her here with us. A big thanks to My Village at Serangoon Garden for supporting this podcast as well. And really thanks for sharing your heart today,
No, thanks for
Rebecca.
having me. Yeah, really.
Till the next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Essentially, you have to like, at the flip of a switch, like toggle between, okay, I gotta reply emails and do the thing.
Yeah.
And then now I've got 2 hours to like bash out like a great idea or a song. And your brain just goes, coffee. You know what I mean?